All right, what's going on, y'all? It's your guy, Think Twice. And today I just wanted to touch on this new update that YouTube recently made in which viewers are unable to see the amount of dislikes on videos, okay? Now, this is a huge controversial update because a lot of YouTubers are coming out against it saying we don't like it. We like the ability to see the dislikes on videos because it gives people a quick understanding of whether or not they should spend their time watching a video, period. Okay? So this is why this is there's so much backlash towards this because it's clearly a function that people prefer and it does more good than harm. But YouTube is claiming that they made this change to protect the mental health and the and the well-being of small YouTubers and protect them from like dislike attacks, okay, quote unquote. Now we're just gonna take a look at YouTube's official statement regarding this matter and just kind of break down and analyze the thought process behind why they even came to this decision and just see if it has any merit, see if this was this a good decision. Let's just take a look here and we'll go through it together. All right, so they go on to say, at YouTube, we strive to be a place where creators of all sizes and backgrounds can find and share their voice. To ensure that YouTube promotes respectful interactions between viewers and creators, we introduce several features and policies to improve their experience. And then they basically go on to say how they conducted an experiment in which they removed the view count on dislikes so that viewers couldn't see how many people disliked the video. And allegedly that resulted in smaller accounts on YouTube being less privy to dislike attacks. So essentially a dislike attack is when people just a bunch of people start disliking a video for no valid reason, quote unquote. And they just try and run up the amount of dislikes on a video. And it has nothing to do with the quality or the content of the video. They're just trying to run up the dislikes for whatever reason. So YouTube is claiming that after they ran this experiment, they found that, this is happening less. This is good. These small creators they appreciate this change. And then they wanted to make it full scale and ultimately decided to remove the view count on dislikes altogether, okay? So when we go down here, they just say, based on what they learned, they made the dislike count private across YouTube, but the dislike button is not going away. This change will start gradually rolling out today. And then obviously this was 2 or 3 weeks ago. But so, just looking at these statements made by YouTube and the alleged purpose that they did this for, I'm just not buying it, They're claiming that it's for small YouTubers, but in actuality, a small YouTuber, someone like myself, is not concerned about the amount of dislikes we get on our video. Small YouTubers should be concerned about engagement and how the engagement of their channel is impacting the platform. Are people actually connecting with their content? Are people finding their content? And are people being recommended the content and things of that nature, right? I don't really buy this for that reason. Secondly, small creators are more likely to not have their videos even seen in the first place. Okay, so the fact that YouTube is claiming that these videos and these kind of accounts are being targeted and the dislikes were being ran up, that just doesn't logically make sense to me because it's harder to even access these small accounts because they're not showing up on YouTube's main page and the discover page, so to speak. So large groups of people coming in and disliking these videos, it just seems more unlikely. Generally, smaller accounts have a stronger community because it's a small group of people who think, we're the only ones who know about this guy or girl, this account, whatever the case may be, So there's they're more heavily invested in it because it's more special. It's more sacred. So just YouTube even asserting the notion that smaller accounts are more privy to these quote unquote dislike attacks, it just seems a little disingenuous to me. And honestly, my thought process behind this is that it's the exact opposite. They're trying to protect the exact opposite demographic, which is larger accounts, And I'm thinking it's corporations that are, using YouTube as an outlet to dispense whatever media they need to dispense. Because these are the people who truly have something to lose, right? For example, there's a lot of government factions and political entities that post things on YouTube. You'll see like a lot of presidential like speeches or things of that nature on YouTube. Back in the day, that would have just came on the news, but now YouTube has reached a level where I would say it's overtaken the mainstream media because it's more accessible to people. Not everyone has cable, but everyone got Wi-Fi, in this day and age. So these corporations, these large bodies, these large networks, these entities that are now on YouTube, they have a lot to lose by how their public perception is, So if they're getting a lot of dislikes on their videos, if the president is posting something, vice president, senator, whatever, prime minister, and there's a bunch of dislikes on that video, that doesn't look good for their party, that doesn't look good on them. And this actually has like real life ramifications that could heavily impact their business, and ultimately, like presidents, prime ministers, these things, it's a business. It's all a business, right? And they're trying to maintain their stature, and they're trying to keep things on that level. So personally, I think that this is who YouTube was catering to when they made this decision, Not to mention, if we look here, let's just go to another piece of data that I wanted to show for this video. We look here and we see some of the most disliked videos of all time. In December 6th, 2018, we can see that YouTube Rewind 2018 was one of the most disliked videos of all time with 19.94 million dislikes, okay? So that just goes to show that the platform itself was at the same level of subjection as every other video. Like, people were just being honest about what they felt, and that ain't it. That video that YouTube posted of the YouTube Rewind, that wasn't it, So that was just another piece of data that I just wanted to pull to, kind of provide some sort of evidence to my point that I don't think YouTube removed the dislike count to protect small creators, but rather it was done to protect large creators, like even the platform themselves. Obviously, we see a bunch of other videos on this list that's kind of funny. Baby Shark Dance, Baby by Justin Bieber. So we can't take this, too seriously, but I thought it was just, a nice little point to throw in there just to kind of support my point. Moving forward, here we can see that, and as I'm sure many of you have heard by now, one of the co-founders of YouTube, what's his brother's name? So Jawed Karim, he didn't even like this shit, okay? He didn't like this at all. He said he predicts the decline of the platform following removal of dislikes, all right? So we go on to see his statement here. Why would YouTube make this universally disliked change? There is a reason, but it's not a good one, and not one that will be publicly disclosed, okay? And this just goes back to what I was saying. The real reason on why they did this has nothing to do with small creators and trying to protect their mental health and protect them from harassment. That's all baloney. That's like clearly just a front that makes them like look good because they're trying to protect people and protect people's mental health. It makes them look good, and they can, behind the scenes, please the people who need to be pleased and appeased. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, he said it there. He said it nice and plain and clear right there. And then he goes on to say a bunch of other things. I don't even really need to go too deep into that. You can check it out for yourself. He has a lot of statements that are floating all over, just online, just all over the internet. So you can go and read that yourselves. But it's pretty plain and clear to see that what was done here was not for the people, for the masses. It was for a small group of people who have a lot of power and who are heavily invested in YouTube. And just when we look at society in general, man, these days, a lot of things are being just forced and propagated on people that are allegedly to help them, but are not really in actuality for the good of the people. And I'm not even going to speak on that. You can put two and two together, if you're astute enough to get what I'm saying. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, you just gotta watch out, do your research, um, and try and come to conclusions based on the data you've collected, and research on your own. Because if you just listen to what these corporations and governments say, you will be led astray. And I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So yeah, man. We'll look. Well, I'll keep just keeping an eye on things, how things are moving across this platform, YouTube, society in general, and I'll be back for another update soon. Thanks for watching and listening, and yeah, definitely be sure to subscribe because I will be coming with content like this regularly.